Hi everyone, it's Maggie. Thank you for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. If you're new, thank you. If you've been here before, thank you, thank you. I hope that you'll enjoy this video today. Today we're going to be this is for Masterboard Monday, and we're going to be using fabric. Now you can see I've got all these little piles of fabric here, black and white. All different patterns. Well, some of them are like mirror images of each other, you know, like this and this and this and this. But some of them aren't. I have some Steamboat Willie here that I really, really like a lot. And I have some here with Minnie and Mickey. And it looks like that had something to do with them going to Paris because it has the Eiffel Tower. But I'm not putting it in the Paris journal. This is going to be when I'm ready to make the black and white journal. And I plan with that journal on just using a few small pops of color, primarily red. I might use some of the other primary colors, but just small little pops here and there. That's my plan anyway. We'll see how that goes. So I'm going to kind of push these up out of the way. I am going to use a 8.5 by 11 sheet of lightweight cardstock. And I'm using this because I do plan on sewing around this. So when I sew around it, it's going to have the thickness of the fabric, the thickness of the lightweight cardstock, and then I'm going to sew, and I'll need to back it with something so that if I make tags or journal cards out of it, or not so much pockets, but tags or journal cards, then it will need a backing so that it can be written on without any problems or any hindrance. I've got out a couple of glue sticks, and I've got out my PVA glue. The last one I did, I think I used glue stick, but I can't really remember, so we'll see what works best. So I'm just going to start as usual, any place. It doesn't matter where you start or what you do. Just start putting things down and see how it goes. Now I had hoped to do two, so I've got 2 pieces of cardstock out, but I don't know that I've torn enough fabric. I do have more fabric, the scraps that I can use to tear some more if I need to, but let's just see how it goes. If I can get one done, then that would be wonderful. So, okay, well, let's just start over here. We're going to put this down right up here. I have had pretty good luck when I've been using the glue stick on fabric. Surprisingly, it's been holding and working really well, so I'm really pleased about that. So we're going to put this right up here. Maybe we'll start building from here, or maybe we won't. We'll just see where I go from here. This is really a lot of fun to do. It's not, it's really just the same as making a masterboard with paper, but you're just using fabric. And if you if you're never a seamstress or, you know, one that played with your sewing machine or made things, and you don't have any fabric, you know, you can pick up, well, you know, you used to be able to at Joann, remnants or Good Cells. You can also get fabric from the thrift store. If they don't have fabric, you can always pick up a old shirts or whatever you want to use that are reasonably priced, and you can work with those and just tear them up. You might have old things in your closet or in your attic or garage, wherever you store things that might be nice for you to use. So if you don't have fabric, you know, I also, you know, I've bought before some fat quarters at Hobby Lobby that I think are like $1. They're less than $2. And you can get quite a few pieces of fabric out of a fat quarter. You can make a journal cover with it and still have fabric left over to do this with or whatever else you want to do with it. So there's that where you can get it. Also, the Dollar Tree sells little fat quarters. I'm not sure. I've never bought any. So I'm not sure if they're the size of a regular fat quarter that you would get from a fabric store. Walmart, I'm sure, has fat quarters. Like I said, the nice thing about fat quarters is that you can use them to make a journal cover with if you would like to. I mean, maybe you don't want to make fabric journal covers. That's all right. I like to make fabric journal covers. That's what I most typically will use. Now again, my only thing with this is it doesn't matter, and I'm just kind of picking randomly. The only thing I want to avoid is putting two pieces of the same cloth together. That I really want to avoid because it kind of ruins it, unless it's really a directional fabric and, you know, putting it next to each other but in a different way might not be as noticeable. And if any of my edges come up, then I'll just go in and glue them down with a little bit of my liquid glue. But I am going to sew around this, around the edges and hopefully around the pieces of fabric as well. So this is Saturday for me. This is going to be for Monday, day after tomorrow. Again, I don't really like to film videos on Sunday. We do want to set that aside for going to church and spending some time together, spending time with my daughter and the baby. She went to her very first birthday party today. She's 4.5 months old. One of my daughter's co-workers, her baby daughter, just turned a year old, so it was her first birthday. And I was invited to go, but I really was not feeling the best yesterday. I was just tired or something. I don't know what was the problem. But, so I was supposed to start at 10 o'clock, so I said, no, I don't think there's any way that I can do. I have no idea how I'll feel in the morning, and I didn't want to take the chance that I was going to be a mess, and so I ended up not going. Well, as it turned out, they went later because it was lasting from 10 to 2, and had I known that, I might have gone because I feel a lot better today. I did get a good night's rest, but I did want to get these videos filmed. And the other thing not crazy about doing is filming a video at the end of the day when I'm tired. So it all worked out. When my granddaughter turns a year old, I'll be at her birthday party. I'll be there regardless of what time it is. And my oldest daughter stopped by to visit with me for a while. I wasn't expecting her, but she came by. I was very happy that she did. We had a nice visit. She, I've said before, she's a school teacher librarian. She loves her job. She loves what she does, but she's working in what happens to be a very tough school as far as the students go. They're not all like that, but the ones that are sure do make it rough on herself and the other teachers. but she does love what she does, and she's good at it. She's very good at it. She's worked in a library pretty much all of her adulting life, since when she was in college, and so yeah, we had a nice visit, and I was happy she came over. Very, very happy. So I'm anxious for my daughter to get back from the birthday party and tell me how it went. I kind of feel like birthday parties for 1-year-olds are really more for the adults than they are for the children, because babies don't understand. They're babies. At a year old, they're still babies. Now, this little one has a sister that I believe is 7 or 8 years older than her. I'm not sure the age difference. I think it's pretty similar to the age difference that my daughters were. So that makes a little bit of a difference, because you know, the sister kind of does bring a different, the older sister kind of brings that into a different perspective. Well, I don't want a piece quite that long. Now I am picking and choosing right now because I don't want a piece that is long as, I want a piece that will go right here. Doesn't matter which one it is. Let's put this. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, I want to know how it went. Oh, my daughter took some beautiful pictures of Leah. Oh, I keep telling myself I'm not going to say her name, any of my grandchildren, on camera, but she took some beautiful pictures of the baby. I love them. I'll probably print them out at some point. You know, I really wanted to do 2 of these today, but I don't think I cut enough pieces, or tore it. I shouldn't say cut. I did not cut. I tore my pieces, and I don't know that I've got enough to do 2, but I do have the scraps right there, and I could pause the camera while I tear some more if I need to. Because an 8.5 really does not go that, 8.5 by 11, a standard sheet of paper, does not give you all that much when you cut it up. Mostly tags. I think I got tags and a couple of journaling cards from the other one that I did. Which is good, which is a good thing. But I would like a little bit more for this black and white journal that I am going to do. Oh, I'm liking this so far. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I need to move all this up a little bit. I'm liking this so far. If you're watching, please comment and let me know what you think. That would be a wonderful thing to do. I know I would appreciate it so very much. I'm trying to keep raw edges up whenever I can, because I really, really like that look, and I will just sew below those edges when I'm sewing. At least that's what my plans are. And I will show you once they're sewn. I'm not going to sew them today. Oh, that's the other reason why I didn't use a 12 by 12, because this is a very small sewing machine, and I was very afraid that it would not, it would be a bit of a hassle to get it in there and turn the paper when I needed to and all that. So that's the other reason I didn't. So if I said this already, please forgive me. But I hope everybody's having a good day and doing something nice. As I'm recording this, of course, it would be Saturday for you, as it is for me. But you'll see it on Monday. So I'm hoping that you're going to have a very lovely weekend. As usual, it's sunny and hot here in Houston. That's kind of our normal. Oh, I might have enough for two. I kind of tore four pieces from each pattern. I didn't want to make them too small or too big because I wanted a nice variety. But I didn't want to make them too small either, just more chance for things to come undone, I guess. Or more pieces to sew around, that's more like it. Sorry if I'm being a little quiet. I'm just, you start doing stuff like this particular project and you just kind of get into it and you just kind of lose yourself in it. All right, what next? And maybe one of these little pieces will fit good here. All right, so this will make one sheet. Maybe we do. This has only been 17 minutes. We're going to be coming, we should be able to finish up the Paris journal sometime in the next few days. I don't know what my next journal will be, but we'll see. I'm going to sew my signatures all ready to be sewn in. I am going to do that off camera. And once I get those sewed in, then we'll try to, place our pockets in our ephemera. Okay, so here's one sheet. I really like it. This might not be your thing, but I do really like it, and I think it's going to go nicely in the journal that I want to make. So I think I may have enough here to make another one, so let's see what happens as we make another one. And we're going to start off with Steamboat Willie up here in the corner, or down here in the corner maybe. Start in the other corner this time. Or I could start in the middle. I'm sorry for being quiet. I know my arms look terrible. If you see them, you probably wonder what in the world is wrong with that one. Well, my daughter said I should cover them up with gauze, and I probably should. I actually thought about doing that. Well, it looks like I've been abused or I have some sort of a disease, but neither one are true. It's just these cats. I don't know if you're a cat person or if you have cats, but you know how cats can be. I mean, they are very unpredictable. At least mine are, and they're big. My cats are big. One is bigger than the other one by some, but they're litter mates. So they're both big cats, but like I said, the one, Stitch, is much bigger. And he has jaws like a vice grip. He gets a hold of you, whether he's playing or he wants something. Usually it's when he wants something, although he can play nice, but you're going to be playing with him so sweet. And like any cat, I'm sure, he just decides, no, I'm not having it anymore, and whips around with either his claws or, you know, with his mouth. And but anyway, that's all that it is. And it will heal. It's nothing major. It will get better. So yeah, we're going to be finishing up the Paris journal. I'm hopefully within the next 2 videos. I think I've got all the pockets that I need. Hopefully I've got all the tags. I made some more tags off camera, as well as some journaling cards. I need to make a writing board. I'll do that with you when I do the next video. A writing board, and there was something else I was thinking I needed to do. Oh, I think I need to come up with a topper for the cover, and I think I know what I'm going to do. I came across a piece of ephemera in the collection that I have, excuse me, that I was using for the book. And it just dawned on me, this will work. I think this will work. So that's another thing that needs to be done as well. That will take me a minute or 2, I'm sure. And I'm always on the hunt for new pieces of ephemera, especially interactive ephemera. And I saw one this morning when I was watching a video. So I think I'll make that. It's very quick and very easy. It's probably one of the easiest ones that I've come across. But I want to share it with you. I'm not going to teach you how to make it. I'm not my videos are not about being tutorials. But I will show you how to make it and link the gal that I saw that it came from. I still am pulling strings off of these. Most of these were quilting fabrics that I've had, well, I'll cut it off, that I've had put away. But I keep harvesting fabric out of them to use in my books and to use in my journals and so forth. Let's cut these little stubborn hairs right off of here. just looking at the camera to make sure I was recording. I am. So some of the pages in the black and white journal, I actually want to use fabric to make them. And I haven't quite decided yet how I'm going to do that. You know how some children's books are cloth, and you know, you just flip these cloth pages, but they usually have some sort of a filling in between them. And you know, and I'm thinking I might be able to do that and just use some real thin batting, like for you'd use for quilts or something, but very thin, and sew them together like that. I think that would be fun. I think the idea is fun, and I think it would be easy. So I have to experiment and see if that actually will work. And actually, I could do that in any journal I make if the fabric coordinates and is appropriate. But I'm not planning on adding anything else to the Paris journal, though. And like I said, unless I need, well, it won't be a page, unless I need another pocket or something. I'm anxious to get it put together. My daughter and I did have a wonderful adventure when we went to Paris and visited all the countries we visited. It was amazing. You know, we did it on a budget. Let me tell you, we did not have a lot of money, but we did it on a budget. My daughter made all the arrangements. She booked all the Airbnbs, and she knew the route we were going to take. She had it all planned out, and then she printed it all out and left copies with her sister and her husband. So in case something happened or they didn't hear from us or whatever, they would have a place to kind of look and see where we might be. So she did it all. We, the first place we stayed was here's Minnie, let's put Minnie right here. In Paris was called, it was the Blue, it had blue in the name, but the owner her name was Lady Blue. And when we first met, she was the nicest gal, probably in her late 30s, I would say. She owned, I believe it would be like a condominium here in the United States. Like a townhome sort of, and she rented out her extra bedroom as an Airbnb. Well, she had 2 extra rooms actually, and her name was Lady Blue. Her house was all decorated in blue. Her hair was dyed blue, or it could have been a wig. Might have been a wig. She wore blue clothing. She was very pretty. She wore blue clothing, and she had the most beautiful blue eyes, which, if I remember correctly, turned out to be contacts. But she was a very interesting lady. She was a little bit eccentric, but in a very nice way. And she had these 2 dogs, one younger, one older. And they took a real liking to us, especially my daughter, because we have dogs, and we have so many dogs. These dogs took a real shine to us. And I need a little bit bigger piece. And so they kept coming up into the room, or the one did anyway, the younger one kept coming up into the room where we were. and wanting to camp out in there, which we did not have a problem with. We love dogs, and the dog was very well behaved. He just liked us and wanted to be where we were. And that night, the first night that we actually stayed there, we got there like early in the morning, and we were exhausted from being up all day. You know, when you're traveling like that, you're taking a big trip like that. I mean, you're so excited. I mean, we were so excited. And so you don't sleep all that day, and then our flight left at midnight, and this is a long flight. We were exhausted. And the airport that we flew into, Charles de Gaulle, is a huge, huge airport. And, well, this was a bad choice here. I'm just going to put it right. No, I'll cover mini. Well, let's just go for right here. If I have to fill in that little gap here with something, I will. And, we got there, the room wasn't quite ready when we got there, so we had to wait. But when we got there, we tried to rest and take ourselves a little nap because we were going to go for the big light show at the Ark that evening, so we wanted to get some rest. And so off we went. You know, we called ourselves an Uber. Got down there. I had told this story already, how we waited and waited and waited for the light show to begin, walked around, but most things were closed because they were expecting such a crowd, and it was a huge crowd. And then my daughter said, you know, we need to get out of here, so we left and started walking. Well, my poor daughter, she had to use the restroom so bad, and I had said all the public restrooms were closed, and she couldn't find one, and we walked and walked. It said in the same what direction we turned in. We constantly had sight of the Eiffel Tower. My daughter said, if I see that Eiffel Tower one more time, I'm going to scream, because what she really wanted was the restroom. And, oh, we're almost done. So we walked and walked, and finally I saw this awning, seemed to be several blocks down. And I said, Lena, there's got to be a restroom there. There has to be a restroom there. And the lights are on, so let's just head that direction. Just hang in there. Oh, she was in pain. She was literally crying because that's how bad it was. She was literally in tears. And I felt so bad for her, and I just kept saying, Lena, come on, let's hurry. Let's hurry. Well, we finally made it to the restaurant, and it was very crowded, of course. And I went in, and I just started, kind of like she did when we were ready to leave that downtown area that was so crowded. I just kept saying, I knew the word for bathroom by then, and now I can't remember it, but I said, you know, where's the bathroom? And somebody pointed in the direction. It was a co-ed bathroom, as you would have it, of course. I think I will tear this strip. And I told her this way, get on over here. And she did, and then she felt better. Well, we ended up getting something to eat there because we were hungry. And the waiter was very rude. We did find that quite a bit while we were there in France, that some of the waiters, you know, it could be very rude, and they didn't get tips. They weren't tipped like waitress and waiters are here in the United States. So they're not particularly interested in giving you good service, you know, because they're not going to get any reward for it. I should have put a different piece here, but oh well, it is what it is. And I need a little strip here too. What do I want to use? Maybe I could use, I want to use that. And it took us forever to get an Uber. I mean, it was forever. We waited and waited and kept calling them, and they would say they were coming, but then 30 minutes later they would cancel it, and because they couldn't get to where we were because of the heavy traffic and the crowds. So we said, well, if we have to, we'll just walk back. That's what we'll do. So we started walking. I mean, it was going to take us, I don't know what she figured, 5 hours to walk there. We were so tired, but we wanted to get back and lay down and rest. So finally we got an Uber. By the time we got back, of course, the sun was coming out. And I guess I could use this entire strip. The sun was coming out, and the lock on the door wouldn't work. We could not get it in. We tried. She tried. I tried. And key and locks, to me, I have a love-hate relationship because I frequently have trouble with a lock, regardless. And we couldn't get that door open, and we didn't want to wake up Lady Blue because it was still, you know, it was still too early. And we thought, well, we remember hearing, the other guest she had was actually a good friend of hers, but she was a pilot. And we remember hearing her say she did have a flight in the morning, but we didn't know what time it was. But we said, well, I guess we'll just sit here on the doorstep and wait for somebody to come out. I said, Lena, I told her, I said, call your husband, call my son-in-law. He'll know what to do because he's from Ireland. And I figure they all have this, I figured in my mind at that kind of time of the morning that they all have the same kind of locks on their doors, right? I mean, that makes sense. She kept saying, Mom, he won't know. He's home in bed in California. He's not going to know. I said, just call him. He'll know. Well, you know, sure enough, she called him, and he told her exactly what to do. And by golly, that door opened up. He was right. He knew what he was doing. I said, I told you, Lena, I told you that it would work. So I had plenty. I'm pleasantly surprised. I even got Steamboat Willie in it, and there's Minnie with her, my little Papa Red. I like this a lot. So we managed to get into our Airbnb and get to bed and get some sleep, although it was daytime. And we didn't want to waste any time just sleeping, so we slept for a while, got up and showered, and off we went on our next adventure in Paris. But looking back on it, it was a lot of fun. It's actually all is a kind of a good laugh. Okay, so here's the first one. I like it. I think it will go wonderful in the journal that I plan on making. And here's the first one. Got the Papa Red here. I actually got Steamboat Willie in this one twice. I kind of like this one a little bit better because the fabrics are a little bit more varied. Here I've got, you know, like this is a, what do they call it? The negative of each other. But it's all right because when you put them together, they look different. And I wish I would have put something else here. That's a lot of this pattern. But it's going to be sewn and it's going to be cut into pieces, so it probably won't really matter. So yeah, here we are. 1, 2. I'm happy with this. I'm happy. Use my thumbs up. I'm happy. So I hope you will like this. I hope you'll try. If you haven't done this, give it a try. You know, you can buy, like I said, you can buy fabrics inexpensively at Dollar Tree, at Walmart, I'm sure, at Hobby Lobby. I've gotten some real cute that I'm saving for journal covers, particular journal covers. I've gotten at Hobby Lobby, very, very reasonably priced. The Dollar General probably has them. So look and see where you can find fabrics if you've got some old clothes or children's old clothes that are too old to be given away, and you know, you just don't, and you can't really get them to the thrift store. Take and use those. You know, use whatever you've got. But this is a lot of fun, and it's very simple and easy to do. I'm finding the glue stick worked well. I couldn't, until I got started, I couldn't remember what I had actually used the last time, but now then once I started, I realized it was the glue stick, and it works perfectly well. The other one was done with glue stick too, and it's, you know, it's been several weeks and it's holding up fine. So I'm very excited about these. I really am. I'll sew around these on the next Masterboard Monday. I'll show you how they came out. I'm not going to cut them up yet. I'm going to wait until I'm actually ready to use them. And I definitely will put these, my little basket of scraps has really grown. It's really overflowing. And I need to get a little bit bigger basket, I think, because they're pretty jam-packed in here. So I'll put all these scraps with it. I'm sure I'll use some of them again, maybe as tag toppers or whatever in the journal. I'm going to experiment with that idea I have of making an 8.5 by 11 page out of fabric to go in my journal. See, this is not a very big basket. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6.5 to 7 inches this way, and 1, 2, 3, about 3.5 inches tall maybe. Not very wide, so yeah, I need to get a bigger basket to put my scraps in, because I do pull on them a lot, and I'm finding I'm doing that more now that I'm using them, a lot of them, for fabric toppers. I mean, tag toppers. I saved my circles. I will do that again. Matter of fact, I may gather some black and white papers and make a small one with circles to use in that black and white journal. We'll see. I don't want to get carried away, you know. Sometimes when you find something you really like or do something you really like, you do want to do it over and over again, and that's not necessarily necessary. So, all right, I'm going to get off of here. It's been, I don't know why I never can read the time on those, probably because I don't have my glasses on. It's been almost 45 minutes, which is fine. I like my videos to be that much. I have had a couple that I've accidentally let go over an hour, but I do like them to be about 45 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this. I do hope you'll try it. And have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you may be doing. Just enjoy yourself if you're crafting, if you're spending time with your family. I hope that by the time you see this, you'll have enjoyed your weekend. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, bye-bye.